Now this is the end of the harvesting. There are few tomatoes left over, and they have tomatoes. They are going to ripe in a few days. Look at this, and some of them on the aisle, and I'm going to clean them after I pick tomato, cut the stems and put together around, and then I throw it away and try to make it's alright this aisle, and I'm going to plant a new tomato plant right here. So hi, I just cleaned up the tomato which were already picked the harvested the tomatoes. Now I clean up the stems and the leaves and wipe the floor and make sure everything is clean, and I'm going to plant a new plant which I grow a tomato plant in a polytunnel. It's middle of the January, and I could harvest the tomato beginning of the April, so 2 months half later. So if you look at the next aisle, there are still tomatoes, and I'm going to pick them a few days later. So maybe I can compare to how it looks like an old one and small plant, tomato plant. Okay, here we go. Now I'm taking the video in a polytunnel where I grow a baby tomato plant. Now, so if you look at it, so tomato plant has flowers. It's time to replant in a big greenhouse. So I already planted some, and I'm going to pick the tomato plant which have a flower and move to the big greenhouse, and I seeded on end of the October. I've been looking after for them for 2 months and 3 weeks, and some plant the leaves turned yellow. That means lack of the nutrition. It's now time to replant, and they need a fertilizer. So let's do it. This is a plastic box I use in agriculture, which called a harvest box, and I use it for harvesting for vegetables like a cabbage, and also I can use it for transporting some plant, tomato plant. I put it in here and move it to the greenhouse. There's a hole in 4 direction, so I can hold it and like this. So I can hold that box in every way. It's very useful one. So if you like it, you can use it and get it in the DIY shop. I strongly recommend it, this one. So I'm going to put the tomato plant in the box. Usually I put 3 times 5 and 15 plant in this box. It goes like this. More. So I choose tomato, this, and pick them up and I put it in here. Okay, that's full. Thank you. トマトの苗をですね、今から植えていきます。花をですね、通路側に向けるとトマトがI just finished planting on the aisle, and 3 days have just passed, and I tied them up. And if I look at closely the flowers, the first time I planted, they have only just 1 flower already bloomed, but now there is a 4 flowers. So it's a time to use a tomato tone to pollinate. And usually, last time I used a bee to pollinate, but it's the winter time. I can't use that bee because tomato doesn't have a pollen due to the low temperature at the night time. So they don't have a pollen. So I can't use it because the bee doesn't fly to collect the pollen. So I have to use tomato tone in the winter time. So if I have a tomato flower 3 or 4, I use them. So I'm going to use later, so I can take a film and show you. So bye bye.